All right, all right, all right. I believe Orange Clemson Sports Network. Such a time as this. We got a great guest on tonight, and looking forward to tonight. Before we get started, let's just talk about what's going on with I Bleed Orange. We've had a couple of new sponsors come on. We had JHA IV Bar, which is in downtown Clemson. They actually came onto the Clemson live show that we did down at Bixby's after the spring game. Clemson Marina gave us the okay and approved us to do the Georgia game. We're going to do a live show out on the marina, which is pretty cool. It's right over the lake. You see the visitor side where it says Clemson at Death Valley Stadium. Hired a new writer and an IT person, and I actually met with a guy after my second or third meeting. Hired Corey Spearman to be our marketing and sales manager. Sassy's Boutique in downtown Clemson came on board about a week ago. And so as far as sponsors, that's kind of what's going on. And talk a little bit about baseball. Went in a week ago, we're number one. And I made the mistake of actually putting that on the I Bleed Orange. And now we're number 4, but we did win the last game. So it seems like every time I post something like that, I probably should post it. But baseball.
You're jinxing it. You're jinxing it.
Yeah, and I went to the game. I hadn't been going to any games. I went to the game Friday night, and we lost. And I think we lost Saturday, but won Sunday.
Well, so that means you're no longer allowed to go to any game for the rest of the season.
Oh, I'm going to football games. I'll miss a baseball game. All right, so we got a special guest on. Whether he knows or not, I've noticed him on social media. He kind of stands out. He's kind of energetic. Got my attention. Charismatic. Seems like a fun guy to be around. I know he played for Clemson. I was talking to my dad day at lunch. A lot of people remember him when he played at Clemson. And I was actually lucky enough to meet him during the spring game. So I reached out to him, and he agreed to get on the show. So without any further ado, we got Ricky Sapp on tonight. And so did a little research. You're born in Columbia, according to
Bamberg.
Okay, it's got you at Bamberg High School. But
yeah.
Anyways, Google, Wikipedia, I think had you at Columbia. But Bamberg's near Columbia, right?
Oh, yeah, about 35 minutes, yeah.
35 minutes. Okay,
yeah.
So you were an All-American at high school? And
once upon a time,
you had a choice between Clemson and a couple of schools, right? And so we usually ask people this question, what sold you on Clemson? Were you a Clemson fan before, or was it when you got to the campus? Or?
No, actually, I didn't even think about Clemson. I actually, well, I guess I can say this. I actually was a Florida State fan growing up.
Okay. And my girlfriend's gonna love this. I just started dating a girl, and she went to Florida State, and she's like, "You're going to the Florida State game with this year." I said, "All right, yeah. That's all good, yeah."
Yeah. So I was actually a Florida State fan, but in my recruiting process, I actually was looking at a lot of other schools, but I kept coming back to Clemson, and I remember telling my high school coach, I said, "Man, it's a different kind of feel whenever I would come to Clemson." You know, Ron West was my coach, and I just fell in love with the place, man. I really did.
Yeah, that's what everybody says, don't they? That's what
something in the hills. I'm telling you, man.
There's something in those hills. They said I looked here and I went there and I got there and it's just something in this hill. I can't explain it. And you're right. I mean, every time it's my happy place. I'm going over there tomorrow. Be over there for 3 days. But yeah, something in those hills. Yeah. Something about Clemson. Something about that community, the family atmosphere.
Definitely family atmosphere.
Feel like everybody knows everybody. It's it's a college town.
So who was it that first reached out to you from Clemson that kind of sparked your interest to come?
Well, I'll tell you what, that team in Columbia offered me first, and then the very next day, that team. The very next day, the whole Clemson staff called me and offered me a full scholarship. But then Ron West was my recruiting coach, and he also coached me. So he was amazing doing the whole recruiting process, and he got me to go to Clemson, man. He coached me at Clemson, and I love the guy.
Yeah.
So you got drafted.
Yeah, you were kind of under the Tommy Bowden transition to Dabo Swinney time, right?
Yeah. Well, I played for Coach Bowden for three years, and then Coach Swinney took over midway through my junior year. Yep. So I was under Coach Bowden. Yep.
How was that transition from going from Bowden to Dabo? Like, was it a smooth, or was it like smack face, wake up, here we go?
I think it was both because we were underachieving that year when we had so many big expectations. But on the other hand, it was smooth because Coach Sweeney had already been there. He knew him. He knew us. So when it happened, we was like, okay, we know Coach Sweeney. We know what he's all about. So, it was kind of a smooth transition as far as that part.
Yeah. Now, was it like a total shock when they announced Dabo as the interim head coach? Or was it like, okay, I see that?
It was a shock, man. I think, because we didn't know. We had no idea what they was going to do. So it was a shock when they say, okay, Coach, we'll be the head coach. But I think right away it was a sense of a feeling like, okay, we know who this guy is, full of energy, wears his faith on the shoulder. He's going to coach you hard. He'll love you hard. So we was excited, The only thing about that was the senior class. We hated the fact that we only had him for a year and a half. We wish we had him for longer. But Coach Bottom was my coach that recruited me. I love him, and I always thankful for him.
Well, for you talk about Florida State, it's the Bowden Wars.
Yeah.
I remember them interviewing the wife of Coach Bowden at Florida State, and they said, "Well, who do you pull for? You got a son playing when Clemson plays Florida State, and you got your husband." She kind of like, well, you know who I got to go home to. But it must have been tough as a mother and your husband and your son are both playing against each other.
I'll forever remember the game that she wore the half and half sweater.
I think I remember that too.
Yeah, I remember that.
Amazing family, awesome family.
Oh yeah. I mean, to this day, I still like Tommy Bowden. I hate how things kind of happen, but it wasn't like he was a bad coach. I mean. I heard some rumors, but he recruited well. I mean, he had some great players that he recruited. I mean, CJ Spiller, Sammy Watkins. I mean, all those guys he was able to bring in, and I think the problem was just could not get it over that ACC championship hump. I mean, took us to how many bowl games straight years? Like every year that he was coach, took us to a bowl game. Yeah. So. I mean, it was good. I don't hate on Tommy Bowden at all. I think he made some good decisions, brought in some great players, brought in some great coaches. Obviously, he hired Dabo Sweeney, But the one question I've been dying to ask, what was it like playing with Gaines Adams?
Oh, man. It was amazing because Gaines took me under his wing, and he literally was like a big brother. Man, he was so talented, so smooth. He was always teaching and just helping. And he was one of the captains on that team, man. So it was awesome as a freshman to play behind him and learn from him. It really was.
Who was the biggest jokester for your class?
I came in with the class with CJ, Jacoby Ford, and Josh McDaniel, and all those guys. So within my class, also President Butler was in my class. He probably was the biggest jokester. But the team overall, we had so many of those, man. We really did.
Because I always kind of look at Christian Wilkins and Gaines Adams' playability style, like just beast on the field, but then you got Christian Wilkins' jokester side, But then I always felt like Gaines Adams to me was serious on and off the field.
You know what? That's actually not a bad take because off the field, he was still serious, but he had a jokester side to him as well, though.
Yeah,
he did.
And I love seeing that CJ Spiller's now the running back coach. And a lot of people, forget that he almost left. He literally almost left. Mm-hmm. But a little guy named Dabo Sweeney, I think, talked him into staying.
Yeah, definitely happy to see him back as a running back coach. Yeah.
But, like I said, that's one thing that I've always been proud of with Clemson is we've always had good defenses. We've always been able to recruit very well for defensive line, linebackers, even before, Brent Venables. And
I mean, I'll go back to 81 when you had Danny Ford. I mean, that defense in 81 was solid.
Yeah.
I I mean, Dad always said this to me. He goes, son, great offense will win games, but a great defense will win championships. And
Oh yeah, always.
Kind of reminds me of Oklahoma back, about 5 or 6, 7 years ago. They put 30, 40 points on the board, and but they'd allow 30 or 40 points, and anyways, if the other team ain't scored and you keep them, without scoring, you got a good chance of winning.
Yeah.
But no, I just remember hearing we're hiring a new coach. I remember going home to see it. And this guy named Dabo Swinney appears on TV. And I don't know if you remember that first speech. First of all, what kind of name's that? And then I'm like, who is this dude? And he had this vision. He's talking in the future. It's not going to be that much longer until we bring another championship. And he was like speaking it into existence. I was going, man, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
This guy. And it happened, it went to, and then you had the Taj Boyd thing, and we're 4th and 16, and that kind of turned the tide. And then Deshaun came on board, and next thing you know, we're in the national championship.
Rest is history.
Yeah.
I will say this though, I really wish they would have used Jacoby Ford a little bit more. Like I mean, the speed that guy had,
World class,
unbelievable.
World class. It was fun practicing with him and CJ.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I wish we could have utilized him a little bit more, and that's what I'm saying. We had such great defense, but then people forget the offensive keys players that we had that just kind of, in my opinion, sometimes were just a little underused. Like Jacoby Ford. I mean, that guy could fly.
Oh, yeah.
World class speed.
Yeah. And then you had CJ Spiller coming out of the backfield that just, I mean, I'd love to see, I don't know, I'm sure you guys did it, but who was faster, Jacoby or CJ? Jacoby that 40-yard dash.
Jacoby's definitely faster. CJ was more explosive and quick, but Jacoby, I've never seen nobody's faster than Jacoby. He's world class speed.
He had some blazing speed. I mean, and then you saw Sammy Watkins, and it was just like,
oh yeah, unbelievable when he showed up.
Yeah. And he's another one that I felt like, especially when he got to the NFL, I felt like he just kind of fell into the cracks, and I hate that because he was such a good talent.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't drop balls. You didn't see him drop a ball, and if he got the ball, he was, after yardage or yardage after catch, as they say. I mean, he just had unbelievable. So,
all right. So growing up as a young man, you played other sports. Was it basically football or
basketball? Was my first love, actually. Basketball,
okay.
Yeah, my first love. Until my mom said, "Nah, I don't know about basketball."
That was Dabo's first love. He thought they're like, "You're not playing basketball."
Yeah. So I did basketball and track in high school.
Okay, so high school, you started playing football, found out you're pretty good at it, started getting some attention. I mean, as little kids, you ever see yourself like playing in the NFL or?
I did. I did. When I was a young kid, I did. I told my mom and dad that I played in the NFL, and yeah, it happened.
It's cool, man, because I mean, less than 2% of people who play college ball actually make it in the NFL, or 1%. It's like, so you made the NFL, you've done what 1%, most players didn't do.
Yeah, 1%. Yeah.
So you go to the NFL draft, and let's see, you got drafted to what? Philly first?
Yep, 5th round. Yep, sure did. 2010.
Home of Rocky.
Brotherly love. Yep.
Yeah. So how was that experience, Robin in Philadelphia?
You never know until you get there and you see how passionate that fan base is. That is a passionate fan base.
Hey, now
and
you're gonna hate me.
I have to give them
credit.
Season
coming.
They watch football.
They're passionate.
They watch football and they know what's going on. They know
they're one of the most. I know. I'm a Cowboys fan. I know how passionate y'all are.
So I'm a Cowboy fan.
Are you really? Oh, we got a cool dude finally on here. I get more hate. I get more, I catch more flack from that than anything. When people are like, well, how'd you become a Cowboy fan? Well, in 1977, the day we moved to Spartanburg, the day Elvis died, I'm a young kid, and you had the antennas, and you didn't have a remote control. And you got maybe 2 or 3 channels if you're lucky. Dallas Cowboys played every Sunday on TV. They had the best looking cheerleaders, best looking uniforms. And they were winning Super Bowls. Tom Landry and Roger Staubach. So I was a Cowboys fan.
I'm an old school Redskins fan.
And they're still the Redskins. They're not the Commodores or whatever.
and
Commanders or whatever.
But I live just south of Charlotte, and so it was hard for me to become a Panthers fan because I'm a loyal fan. It's like I was Clemson and I am Redskins. And then when the Panthers came, I didn't become a fan right away when they became a team in 95. It took me about 98, I believe it was. I said, you know what? I like this team when you had Kevin Green, Sam Mills, and names just went blank in my head. But they had like a passionate team, and it's like I love the passion that the team had. And I was like, you know what? I like that. I like this team right here. And I became a Panthers fan. And I said, you know, if I'm going to go all in on being a Panther fan, I'm going all in. And that was before Dabo started his all in. But I said, I'm going all in. And so I'm a diehard Panthers fan, but I still pull from a Redskins. But Dallas.
America's team, baby.
America's team.
America's team, baby.
Just get rid of Jerry Jones.
I lived in Atlanta for about 10 years, and I moved back up here to Charlotte. This is where I'm from, Charlotte. But I did live. I grew up in 6 Mile, South Carolina. I grew up there, and then my dad moved us back over here to the Rock Hill side of South Carolina. And when I got out of high school, I moved to Atlanta for about 10 years, and then I came back. Well, I'm a diehard Clemson fan, and I love everything about it. I love going there, love everything. And when I first moved back up here, my next door neighbor, 2 houses down, he was a Furman player. Got drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. Not too long before you. Okay. But his name was Luther Broughton. I don't know if that name is familiar to you, but he was a tight end, and he's a diehard Clemson fan, and he is a passionate Philadelphia fan.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, man, you Philly fans are really
they're passionate.
But, granted, he did play for him, and then he got traded from Philadelphia to the Panthers. Yeah. And he actually held the longest touchdown by a tight end for the Panthers until Greg Olsen came along and took that record. But Luther Broughton, great neighbor, great guy. I love hanging out with the guy. And that brings me to my next question, because I asked him one time, I'm like, what was that one person that just kind of like celebrity awe? Like, oh my gosh, I'm in the presence of this person.
Michael Vick.
You were saying Michael Vick?
I was on the Eagles team when they signed him after he got out of prison, and I was a rookie 2010, and we were on the field and our first mini camp, and Michael Vick runs on the field, and all of us is like, yo, that's Michael Vick, man. Yeah. So I think Michael Vick was the first one that was like, wow. And he was still Michael Vick, like Michael Vick. I mean, oh my God. So that was exciting to have him on the team.
Yeah. Luther told me, he said he was at a place and in walks Michael Jordan.
Wow.
And he was like, man, I never was like starstruck, never been, celebrity, whatever. And he goes, and this guy walks in, and he was just like, I don't even know what to say right now. It's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But then Michael Jordan was like, hey man, how you doing? And then after that, he was like, oh, I'm fine now.
Yeah.
So you were with the Philadelphia Eagles when Michael Vick was there?
I sure was. Yep.
So what was it like? How was it like being a teammate with him? Like, how was he? Was he a pretty humble guy?
Man, down to earth, humble, funny guy. He was one of the boys, man. He was definitely a cool guy to be around.
Who was y'all's coach then?
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid. Okay, yeah.
Oh yeah,
one of the greatest of all time. Great coach. What was he like? He's still going.
Andy Reid was awesome, man. He was a tough coach.
Yeah,
and he was very honest. He didn't leave him waste time. When it was time to go to work, it was time to go to work. It was time to have fun. It was time to have fun.
Cool.
I don't think Chuck Duncan is very pleased with Philly fans.
That Facebook user. It's actually coming up Facebook user on mine.
Yeah,
Passionate,
he posted
Chuck
saying
Duncan,
Philly fans and all sports are not.
I met Chuck at the spring game. He was over there.
They're passionate, man. They're some passionate fans. But I gotta give them their props. They actually watch the game and they know what's going on. But they're passionate and they think they should win every year.
Yeah. I hear it's hard.
I will say this: it's the only stadium that I heard that has a full-on gel system in the stadium.
A gel in the stadium.
It's a full-on like a gel system. They even have a magistrate
at the
to
stadium.
go ahead and do the bail bonds and everything.
We're not going to take you down to the county. We're going to get you right here. You're going to have to bond out. That's funny.
They're tough in the Northeast, man. Yeah. Passionate fans.
Somebody said almost got killed at a Philly hockey game. Oh, Philly fans. Okay. I'm just reading some of the comments.
Yeah, I've never heard that before. When a stadium has a whole gel system, and the fact that it's full every Sunday.
Northeast is rough, man.
You got to bond out for the next home game, right? Don't got any room.
Yeah. So what was your most ultimate favorite moment at Clemson? Like, what was that one moment that you were just like, this is what it's all about?
Oh man, my first game playing against Florida Atlantic, and I go in for the first play, and Gaines Allen runs in, and I look up, and I was like, oh my God. And my mom, my dad, and I think my brothers and sisters, they stood up, and my dad did this right here, and I was like, what is he doing? My first play. So that was a special moment, man, because you guys know, man, when you get to that stadium and see all those fans, all that orange.
Yeah.
It is the best
running down the hill.
Oh, it's the best
question. And somebody asked me at spring, do you have a son?
That's not my son. That's Patrick.
Everybody thinks it's my son.
Yeah. And you know what? We're not related at all.
I wasn't sure. I was like, I'm not sure. We're sitting there. Got the same last name. Plays for Clemson.
Everybody asks that question.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure you also get the, are you related to Warren Sapp?
Warren Sapp, yeah.
Yeah.
No relations. Would have been nice, but no relations.
So what's that feeling like when you're standing at the top of the hill and you touch that rock and you start coming down? What's that feeling like?
It is no feeling like you can ever imagine. I'm gonna tell you this: when you get off that bus, you hype and you're excited. But when you get
fans
to
are going crazy, they're ready.
When you get to that rock, it's a different feeling. It's almost like everything goes quiet.
Yeah,
you get numb and you like, man, and then it blows. Ooh.
Let's go. Football.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Cool.
And that was going to be my next question, is just right before you get to the rock, you know, they show it sometimes on TV and it looks like you guys are just absolute silence on the bus. Is it always silence on the bus, or are you guys just rocking it in there?
No, it's rocking, man. When I played, the bus was rocking. You got some buses that probably was, a little quiet, but nah, man, those buses is rocking. People making noise. It's definitely a lot of energy and excitement.
Yeah. I can't imagine the feeling. Just you come out the locker room, you get on that bus, you take the trip around the stadium, you see the fans out there just hooping and hollering, and you pull up and you come off, and then it's like it's business time.
Well, that's what makes Clemson so special, man. There's no other interest like it, man. And
I don't think so.
I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to play in that stadium in front of such amazing fans, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Such an amazing tradition.
I have a lot of people who know, I'm involved with Clemson and all. Never been to a game, and it's like what it's like. And I said, I can't explain it. You just got to experience it. You just got to be there, and then you know what it's like. Because it's a special place on a Saturday, during football.
Yeah. Definitely.
So a lot of members. I was actually going to games before I was born. I was born in Clemson, and I'm a December child. So the thing was my mom's womb. So apparently, I learned the Tiger chant before I was born. I knew nothing else. I guess I meant to start this company.
Listen, I've got I've got 2 kids, and all my friends and family they just basically say they don't have a choice, do they? And I'm like, the second they come out the womb, I'm putting Clemson gear on them. So
No, they don't have a choice.
yeah, they have a choice.
No choice.
But they just kind of adapt to it.
They're coming out of the womb, and you're doing. Yeah, they'll be a Clemson fan.
I love it.
All right. So what else? Went to New York and then Houston and play for some other teams.
Yeah, 5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Any other experiences outside of Philly that you stand out or?
Well, I played for Verse Ryan. I played for the Jets for the longest, almost about 3 years, and it was an amazing experience. I had amazing teammates.
New York City. Yeah.
Yeah. Over there in dirty Jersey, playing for the Jets.
I've been there.
Over in dirty Jersey. But I had the opportunity to play with the Houston Texans with JJ Watt and all those guys. And that was an amazing
JJ Watson. I like it.
Amazing locker room.
JJ is intense as he is. Like, is he normally intense like that?
So, let me tell you this story, short story. JJ is competitive as crap. I get to the Texans and we're doing drills, and nobody, they know, but they don't know how fast I am. I'm beating guys in drills. I'm beating JJ in drills. The next morning, JJ will walk in the locker room at 8 a.m., 7 o'clock, and be like, yo, you're not beating me today. I'm going to win every day. And I got to the point, I was like, you know what, man? He can have it. I want to let him.
He was a competitor.
Competitive.
I hate he had some injuries and all, but he was a competitor. They seemed like an all-around good dude. I know when they had that. My sister lives in Houston. They go to games. And I know they had that flood down there. He did a lot of good stuff, like fundraising and stuff, and helped out a good bit. Went out of his way.
I love Houston. Yeah, love Houston.
Yeah, a big
drawn out. It's a nice city. I went through there trying. My wife had to live in San Antonio for about 6 months, so going through Houston to get to there a couple times, and it was nice. So
don't forget.
They say everything is bigger and better in Texas. I gotta give it to them. I agree. Everything is bigger and better in Texas.
Yeah. So is the barbecue better there or down here?
Oh, I can't say that now. I got a South Carolina better barbecue.
Okay, they always have that debate.
Sorry, Texas.
North Carolina, South Carolina.
Yeah. I can't give them that. Sorry, Texas.
Smoking Pig rocks.
Now, are you living back in South Carolina now?
I am. I'm in Clemson. I was a part of the strength and conditioning staff at Clemson football for the last almost 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
I stopped doing it last year.
I spend 50% of my time at Clemson, 50% in Spartanburg, but I will be moving to Clemson within the next year or so. So I'm headed out tomorrow. I'll be there till like Saturday. I don't like coming back over to Spartanburg. When I started this thing, it just kind of it's where I was located. But most of my business is over there, and I love going over there. And I come back, and all I want to do is go back.
Yeah, you gotta move on down then.
Yeah, I'm looking for some property and stuff.
Now,
all right,
did
so
you
got out of football, huh?
Go ahead, Josh.
You got out of football, and some people get into broadcasting, and you do some motivational speaking. You got like a business going there, or you written a book or something?
Well, now, dude. When I left football, I got into volunteer coach, then personal trainer, and then somebody taught me into being a substitute teacher. So I was a substitute teacher for 3 years over in Myrtle Beach, and I coached at St. James High School.
Okay.
And during that time, I was doing motivational speaking, and that Coach Sweeney gave me an opportunity to come back here in 2022, and now I do my speaking full time. So yeah, it's a full blown business. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
When's your podcast? You sold
my podcast is. So you guys
maybe we can get on your podcast.
So you guys need to feel loved and thankful for this, because my podcast is every Tuesday at 7 o'clock.
Hey, we are.
When you ask me, I say, hey, it's all good. I got to do it.
Well, how did we get on your podcast?
I can get you guys on. I do it every Tuesday.
Why not? You up for that, Rob?
We were doing it every Wednesday, and then my kids started having baseball practice and baseball games on Wednesday nights, and I was like, Josh, can we move this to Tuesdays? And he's like, absolutely.
Yeah, it's absolutely a better day.
I love it. Yeah.
Cool.
So I gotta ask, where were you? Were you watching it in 2016 when Clemson went to Tampa to take the first natty since '81?
I was there. I was in Tampa, man. I was down in Tampa. And it was amazing. It was an amazing feeling. The crazy thing about it, I was at a little sports bar with a bunch of Clemson alumni, and my college girlfriend, she played basketball at Clemson as well, a bunch of Clemson teammates. And when they won, I just remember her saying, they did it. Like, they did it. Like, they won that championship. So
natural high for a week or so.
Oh, it was awesome, man.
It was awesome.
The trash talk that
front page of the Herald Journal said Clemson is king. Had a picture of Dabo and then holding the trophy.
It was awesome.
Because I was there in '81. I mean, it'd been a long time. I was young, but I remember it.
Yeah, definitely awesome.
And to this day, I really wish I would have like told somebody or wrote it down on a piece of paper, recorded it or something. But in 2018, when we went and played Alabama in San Francisco, and the whole year, everybody kept asking me, "You think you guys going to do? You think?" I was like, "Yeah, I know we're going to do it. We're going to get there. We're going to get there." And I had been watching a lot of Alabama games that year, and I was like, "They're not that good." I kept saying, like, they're not that good. And I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to put it out there, and like Josh does, and we end up losing. But I wish I was like, I said to myself, I said, we're going to blow them out. If we play Alabama, we're going to blow them out. Yeah. And we got there, and then that, pick six to start the game. And it was downhill from there. And next thing you know, it's 44-16. And I'm like over here going, God, I wish I could have wrote. I wish I had a prophecy.
16 was special because we hadn't done it in so long. But, nobody was sitting down during that last drive. I was sweating bullets, man. I couldn't sit still. I was patient. And then Deshaun threw it to the Renfro and but 18 was awesome because you could kind of just sit back after a while and relax and enjoy the game because you weren't nervous. We got pretty far ahead. I'll never forget, Cowboys fan, Stephen A. What is he, a Pittsburgh fan? But he's always like, he lives for the Cowboys losing.
Oh, yeah.
He'll show up on ESPN with a hat, cigar, every time we lose, laughing.
Oh, you're talking about Stephen A.
Stephen A, yeah. Oh, I know who Stephen A is. So,
that's what I was. That was the point that I was coming to with the 2018 deal. When
I
love that video.
I love Bama. That's all we could talk about. Remember?
Yeah, I love that video when he said, "My number one is Alabama. My number two is Alabama. My number three is Alabama." Man, I love that video when they play that on repeat.
He actually ended up in Clemson like the following year for game day or something, and
he made a promise.
He apologized. I respected that. He gave a good little speech.
He made a promise to Dabo that if we won that year, that he would come. Like it was almost like an apology. Like he underestimated, Trevor Lawrence and all those guys. He underestimated them and said, I will come down to Clemson in a sense and apologize live on TV that you guys were a better team.
Yeah. I mean, when I don't have a dog in the fight.
You know who didn't show up? Paul Feinbaum.
He's not a fan of us, so I'm not surprised. He's not a fan.
That's the one guy that
I'd
rather not listen to.
Oh yeah, and he gives Clemson no respect. I mean, I don't know what he's going to do since Saban's gone. I think. Exactly. I mean, Alabama will come back around, but I think they might have a couple down years. Who would want to follow those footsteps?
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about Dabo. I was like, Dabo's not going down there. Why would he? And then the guy from Washington comes. But you talk about a lot of pressure, trying to fill in those footsteps because those Alabama fans aren't going to want just a winning season. They're going to want a championship every year.
Oh yeah.
So, anyways, we're getting closer. I think I looked at today. We're 136 days. So we're not. Once it gets under about 100 days, it goes faster.
It goes fast. Yeah, it goes fast.
And then it needs to slow down because that's my favorite time of the year. It's like you get into football season and then
it goes even faster. Yeah.
It goes too fast.
Now, Ricky, did you watch the spring game?
I was there. I sure did. I watched it.
Yeah, he was there. Yeah.
What was your thoughts?
My first thought was the defense looked really good.
Those were our thoughts.
And then the receivers, that young receiver,
Wesco. Yes, Wesco.
Wesco, yeah, he's highly recruited.
He looks good. So with him and the other receivers we got, it looks pretty.
Pearman. Pearman.
Pearman. Yeah.
I think he caught a lot of people's attention.
Yeah, he definitely did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing kid.
But, I know it's spring game, and you kind of have to look back at the fact that, like Cade and Vazina, what they have 4 weeks of practice coming into this spring game. You're not going to see craziness, but Pierman, just came in with nothing to lose and just basically said, I got nothing to lose. I'm going to show it all out. Yeah. And, but I'm excited about Strecco, the running back.
Yeah, he did look pretty good. Yeah,
he did look good.
And, defense, like you said, that pick six, that was the most unbelievable play of
that's
the
what we
game
talked about in that last show we did afterwards. That was incredible.
That pick, you can't even fault the quarterback for that because he threw a laser and that guy just picked it out of the air and just took it home.
Yeah.
So
I think we got a good chance this year. The new offensive line coach we got. I always talk about the offensive line. We don't talk about it enough because they see the 80-yard touchdown throw. They see the 55-yard run, but they don't see the blocks and the time they got to open it up and make that happen. And we were lacking a little bit there last year. So that looks good. And you got Peter Woods back. He's a beast. And Sammy Brown, another guy, freshman. His first play from line of scrimmage, they mentioned his name. But he reminds me of kind of a toned-down Brian Bosworth. He's a beast. Yeah. I've watched some of his films, and, man, he's athletic. Yeah. So I think he's got a future in the NFL.
Yeah. I think Clips definitely going back to the promised land. It's just a matter of time.
I think so. I think this year looks like last year.
I think we got the right people in place. You got the new offensive line coach, and I think he is definitely bringing the offensive line around. It's hard to judge how good the offensive line was during the spring game because none of the starters were together. They were all split up. So it's like you can't really judge the offensive line. And it's almost can't really judge the offense in general. But you look at the defense, and both sides of the defense were phenomenal.
Yeah, it looked good.
And, and it took some amazing plays by the offense to even get the scores that we got. So,
yeah.
But I am excited about the defense. And, a lot of people thought that defense was going to drop off with Venables leaving. And a lot of opinions were out there about Wes. But I'm not.
Hey, we're a top 10 defense.
I'm impressed. I think Wes has got what it takes. So
I don't know. He definitely does.
Yeah.
It was good to see Venables back as linebacker. So good to see him back. And of course, Sammy Brown.
Rally, I think it took him a year to kind of
transition.
Sammy Brown, he's getting a lot of comments.
Yeah. He looks good. Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
I think, we talked about that last year. A lot of people we didn't have the season we wanted to last year. Everybody's like, what's going on? And I said, I can't explain. It's kind of like if you look at the days, like when we had Christian Wilkins, we had the Alpha Dog, we had Ben Boulware, we had that one guy, the leader, the Alpha Dog. And I think Sammy Brown's that guy. I think he's going to be that guy. And I'm excited. I'm excited about the season. I think
they'll get back to the top.
And we got the 12 teams now.
Yeah.
Which,
you were there. You were there just as Ben Boulware was coming in, right?
No. Kind of. Yeah. I
left Ben Boulware.
I left in 2009, and then I think he came. The next?
He came in.
Okay. Yeah.
I couldn't remember if he had come in right when you were kind of going out.
No, he was there 13 and 14. He played with
right.
Deshaun. Yeah, he was with Deshaun.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I've been trying to get him on the show. Get him, he's got a gym. I can't ever look at the guy. And I got with his partner. Yeah, we'd be glad to do a live show and be a sponsorship. And then finally, I went downtown to Anderson. Got one of these key things you got to put in. They got to let you in. And I'm talking to the guy. I'm like, "Where's Ben?" And he's like, "He's in the hospital." I'm like, "Whoa, what's wrong?" And that was the day he had a baby. Became a dad.
Yeah.
Love to have him on the show. He's got that kind of personality where he'd be good on camera. So
I was excited when Ben Boulware got picked up by the Panthers because I was like, that's a Luke Kuechly in the making right there. And and I was sad.
I'm about 2 miles from Walford right now.
Yeah, it saddened my heart when Panthers, did their cuts and whatever, and I was just like, man, that's the one guy you let go that shouldn't have been let go.
He's one of my favorite players. Just his enthusiasm.
Yeah,
the body slam. You remember that?
Yeah.
Was that Syracuse?
That was my favorite statement from Dallas Swinney. He was like, when he asked the referee, he was like, well, what's the penalty? He's like, well, he slammed him too hard. And he's like,
it was like a wrestling move. It was like WA.
Too funny. Too funny.
Yeah. That.
But he seems to be doing pretty good now. He's got like 5 gyms.
Doing amazing. Yeah, he's doing amazing.
Yeah. So, it's funny how, Clemson a lot of times give you a platform and then, something to go off on later on in life and to make a living off of it. So
what you got going on this big coming up, Ricky?
Well, right now I got my own foundation. So I got my football cheerleading camp coming up, and then of course I got some speaking engagement coming up as well. Yeah.
Okay. Now, are you going to be involved with the orange and white as well?
I definitely will. I can't wait. I'm excited about it. My first time was last year.
We're trying to get a golf team together.
Well, man, let's go. Let's get together. Let's do it.
Do you play golf?
I'm terrible. So you better recruit the best players first before you recruit.
I know Tiger Woods, but I get out there and hit the ball. I think Rob's probably better than me, but we haven't played.
I mean, I do play once a week. I ain't gonna say I'm good.
Yeah, I hit it in the backyard, and then
I'm nowhere near good.
I played 2 or 3 times a year.
I need to play at least once a week. I need to.
But yeah, we're gonna get together orange and white with the Wayne Buckingham thing. Get like an orange.
Yeah, awesome.
I'll bleed orange team.
Yeah.
You gonna go to that?
Your speaking event gonna be at?
My next speaking event is actually at Pendleton High School.
Okay.
Which is next week. So my audience is kids. I travel to schools and speak to kids. Also got a kids book coming out. So I'm all about kids and encouraging the youth.
Yeah.
Ben Hall does a lot of that too.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does.
You ever been over his place over in Lyman?
I heard about it, but I've never been there.
They got banana pudding to die for, but he goes to high schools and speaks. He does. He's a friend of mine. We kind of come close. Yeah. But he's gone to Clemson and spoke, done a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
You said you had a charity organization going to?
So I got my own foundation. It's called the Ricky Sapp Foundation, and it's geared towards kids. And I have several events throughout the year. The next one I got coming up is a football cheerleading camp in my hometown in Bamberg, South Carolina.
Bamberg, South Carolina.
Big Bamberg.
All right.
Yeah.
So the foundation, you can donate to it or something.
It's a nonprofit, and
it help raise money for maybe like underprivileged kids.
Cool. So it's all geared towards helping kids. I have several events throughout the year where I do stuff for kids, book bags, Christmas, Thanksgiving, a charity basketball event. Yep, all in my hometown. Yep.
Oh, we help with that. Let us know.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you.
So one of the questions I always like to ask, especially former players back around your time period, is what is your thoughts on the transfer portal?
Man, it's as a former player,
it's changed football completely.
It's changed. As a former player, I'm all for it. But I'll say this: I think that they should have really thought long and hard about this thing before they just open it up and said, "All right, you can leave whenever you want to." So, I love that the players have the ability to go when they want, because the coaches can do the same thing.
Well, I mean, you've always had the option to transfer.
But
there was just a penalty.
The penalty. You had to wait.
Yeah, there was, in a sense, a penalty. I mean, you can call it a penalty, you can call it whatever, but there technically was a penalty if you transfer. You had to sit a year, whatever. Yeah. But nowadays, it's like you transfer and you're pretty much immediately on the team. Mm-hmm. It's almost becoming like a different style of free agency, if you will. And now you're kind of bringing in the NIL situation where, it's rumored that some coaches are picking players and, plucking them, whatever you want to call it, and recruiting in a sense. But I don't know. I feel like there needs to be some more stipulations around it. I'm not I'm not against a player saying, "Hey, this is not a good fit for me."
Mm-hmm.
I get that, but I think you're also creating that. I'm just going to commit. Like a commitment doesn't mean anything much anymore.
Mhm.
And they's like, "Oh, I'll just commit, and if I don't like it, I'm out." One season, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Or I don't get the starting position, I'm gone.
Yeah.
I've always loved the term that Dabo has said, "Steel sharpens steel." I mean, you look at your situation. You came in, you got Gaines Adams. I mean,
didn't even think about transferring at all. Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, but you go on saying like you took on that and said, "Hey, this guy," and he took you under his wing in a sense and taught you, and like that's what I love right there. Hey, I may not be starting right now, but look at the guy that's in front of me.
Yeah.
I know. I think some players are just doing that and leaving.
Well, that's the part I say they should have really thought long and hard before they open that up. Because it is kind of frustrating to see these kids bounce, and continue to you gotta stick it out and fight, man. Because that's how that's going to be a fight. You gotta stick it out and fight. So that's the part that frustrates me. Like, man, it's a lot of kids just up and leaving.
Yeah,
fight, man.
And I'm not trash talking DJ Uyunglele.
We play him this year. Yeah.
I always say his last name wrong. I apologize. But he comes to Clemson, and I'm a big supporter of DJ. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, I liked it. I just felt, I think I felt what he felt was that we were not opening up the offense for him. But at the same time, we didn't have an offensive line that was giving him time either. A lot of people wanted to see him run more. He was the number one pocket passer in California.
Yeah,
he wasn't a scrambler. Yeah, he kind of had that Cam Newton body style, and he had a little speed to him, but he was a pocket passer. Yeah. You gave him time, he can make the throws, make the reads. Now he goes to Oregon State. He goes 1 year there. Now he's at Florida State. We had another guest on not long ago who said, "Who's his identity? Who's he identify with?" And I agree. I'm like, guys are just jumping around now.
Yeah, that's the only part that just gets me. Like, man, they should have really thought long and hard before they said, "Hey, all right, we will let the kids just up and leave." So now I think it's gonna be hard to change that. Now it's gonna be hard, but they better figure out something.
Yeah, and and I'm happy about the NIL deal. Like I have no qualms against anybody getting paid for what they do. Yeah, these universities, they make a ton of money off these players. I do say that they do get a lot. I mean, you got a lot. You didn't get nothing, but compared to what the universities make, big difference. I mean, since Clemson became, in the spotlight, ticket prices are unreal.
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of that, I have a ticket from 1977. We played Notre Dame at Clemson. Almost beat them. We're beating them at halftime, and I think they went on to win it all that year. But they had a quarterback. You may have heard of him. His name was Joe Montana. Nobody knew that he was going to be, one of the greatest of all time. The ticket was $7. I got a picture of it on my phone. $7.
Wow. That's crazy.
Ticket in 77 against Notre Dame.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not against success. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But to get a decent ticket nowadays at a primetime game, you're looking at $500 for a ticket.
That's crazy.
I had a guy, there's a girl here that big Clemson fan. This guy moved out from New York, not really, the college football scene, but he fell in love. They're getting married in like a month. He calls me up. He goes, "Man," or he texts me during the game. He goes, "What's the Clemson ticket cost?" I said, "Dude, a couple things. It matters who you're playing, and where you're sitting. A lot of factors in that. So in other words, if you're playing Florida Atlantic, it's not going to cost the same as if you're playing Notre Dame or Florida State. So that's even on the 50-yard line, a different game's going to cost a different price than like a Wofford or Citadel game. It was a big game.
Yeah.
So that's just I said, well. Sure. So I'll look around for you. Tell me what you want to spend.
Yeah,
and, I think he was in the upper deck, but he got to go. They got to go to the first game.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I know a lot of fans, harp on Dabo for not, in a sense, hitting the transfer portal. I don't disagree with it. Like, sometimes I'm like, yeah, okay, let's go to the portal, but what are you going to get? You're getting players that aren't committed. I like the fact that Dabo recruits players based on their personality. Like, he's looking for that person. One
that fits the model. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
like that family style, that I'm dedicated to this. I'm gonna study. He has one of the highest, graduation rates out of, I think, all the coaches in college football right now. And it's like, he's not looking for the one and done guy. He's looking for that committed guy.
Yeah.
Kind of goes back to the all in. I'm all in.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And Dabo looks at the man, the person first, football second, because he knows you're going to have to, eventually you're going to grow out of this and go on and be a man. So, I mean, I always respect him for that,
Yeah. No, without a doubt.
Dabo's got character. Give him that much.
Oh yeah. He got character.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, everybody wants to harp on him about not going to the portal. Like last year, they were like, he's not going to the portal to get wide receivers. Mm-hmm. We had good wide receivers. Well, we just didn't have time for the quarterback to throw it to him.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be willing to adjust as a leader, but I believe in who he is, what he's done, and I know what he's going to do, So
and he's adjusted lately. He's adjusted.
Yeah. So
article just came out the other day that he's eyeing people in the portal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, see, that's he may be looking. He's probably always been looking, just never saw anybody that fit the model, like you said, fit the model. But yeah. And a lot of people say, oh, he's against NIL. He's not against NIL.
Not at all. He's not. No.
He's Clemson's one of the most forefront teams or universities embracing the NIL. They're building a whole NIL center.
He hired a staff for it. I mean, I don't know. How can he be against it? He hired a staff for it.
Exactly. And that's why I'm like, are you people like just blind? Like, what's going on here?
Well, I'll say this about Clemson football. And, people might say I'm biased, but they're going to win again, and they're going to win a championship again. Coach Sweeney has already shown that he knows how to win. And here's the thing. Of course, is when people get used to winning, they think you're supposed to win every day. That's not how life works, man. Winning doesn't
win anybody. I mean, Chicago Bulls, any team that makes a great run. Alabama's on the downside right now.
Winning doesn't owe Clemson football anything.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Just because we won, all that, the long time we won, it doesn't mean we're supposed to continue to win. But the fact that we've already done it means that we will do it again. And they will.
I think it'll be soon. I think it'll be soon.
I would love to see us to go back this year. I know we're going to make the playoffs. The team that I saw in the spring had the potential to be there in the playoffs in the final 12. I believe that they'll be one of the final 4 teams. Will they peak the mountain again this year? They could. I don't think they will. And that's I'm a die-hard Clemson fan. Like, I hate to say that, but that next year, we're going to be on the top of the mountain.
Yeah, it's going to be soon. I think 100%.
We're going to start it off right with Georgia,
and that's going to be the exciting part about it.
I mean,
I think Georgia's going to come in here. Georgia's going to come in sleeping. They're going to be like,
we're due to beat Georgia. I think we're going to win. No.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. Start the season off.
Well, we technically beat them the last time we played them.
Yes.
That game was 3-3. That game was 3-3.
Yes.
Take that pick 6 off, and it's a tie game.
Yeah.
We're the only team that played them that way all year, and they win a championship. You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, it was a tie game. You take the pick 6 off.
Yes.
And again, that's why I hate how sometimes college football is set up. And I said this, I think, in the last podcast. In my opinion, the games against Citadel, Furman, Wofford, I'm not against playing those games, but change the format. Make it to where those games are played before the season starts, and you still pay the money to these schools because we pay them a lot of money to come play.
Oh yeah.
Still play it. Still have them come to the Valley, whatever. in August, but don't count it as a win-loss.
Yeah.
They don't get a win-loss. We don't get a win-loss. And we have a full schedule, conference schedule, and a couple, outside schedule games. And those games are meant for, like, in a sense, preseason. Why can't college have preseason?
Well, bring them in for the spring game. Coach Sweeney's all about that too. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, bring them in for the spring game.
Well, spring game, in my opinion, is a little too early. Because, I mean, spring practice, you get, 5-6 weeks of practice?
Yeah, actually only
the spring game.
4 weeks. 3 weeks, yeah.
4 weeks? Yeah,
like
4 weeks practice. You got the spring game. It's a big hyped up. That's the first time that some of these kids are getting that stadium fans experience. But then you got summer camp, and that's where the work's done. That's where you come in and the steel sharpens the steel, and you go through the summer camp, and you come into August, and then it's like the first game you got is like a high marquee game in Atlanta against one of the top 5 teams in the nation. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Any team, it's hard to face that.
Yeah,
even Alabama going against Georgia or whoever. It's kind of hard to just, that's your first game of the season.
Yeah.
Take the Wofford, Furman, Citadel, whatever, Coastal Carolina. Have a couple of those games right before the season starts. Spring game rules.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing counts as a win or loss, not for them, because that's demoralizing to their record, in my opinion. Yeah, there's a chance that they could beat us.
Yeah.
Ask South Carolina.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah.
Take those games and make those a little bit of a preseason game, because Alabama plays right before the Iron Bowl. They play some high school team,
Yeah.
So
we played Citadel like the second to last game, which is really weird because we normally play them. I don't like that because I'd rather have that game at the beginning of the year. So if it means something, and with the standings and something, we got the Citadel like November the 20th or 17th or something, right there.
You could even go into the whole. Well, what if a marquee player gets hurt in that game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put that at the beginning of the season, like in August, and you play that game.
You play in Georgia than the Citadel, but
yeah, you know what I'm saying. And if a marquee player gets hurt, the chance that they're back in like 3-4 games when it counts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion on that. I just feel like, hey, still pay these teams to come play. Give them the money that they deserve, because a lot of those teams, our money is helping their program. But I just feel like don't count it as a win-loss. Count it as a scrimmage. Count it as go by the spring game rules. Can't touch the quarterback type stuff. Running clock, all that. Not doing the kickoffs, not doing. Well, I guess we did the punts, but you didn't really do the kickoffs. That's just me. I don't know.
I think it's a good idea.
Yeah,
I think so.
But I mean, college football is changing on a yearly basis, daily basis, however you want to look at it.
Oh, yeah.
We went from 4 teams for 6-7 years. Now we're down to 12 because they realized 4 teams just ain't working, especially after this last year. I mean, that controversy.
12, we didn't even have a playoff system.
I mean, Florida State should have been in it 100%.
I agree. Yeah.
100%. But, Florida State doesn't make it. Some say, oh, it was the quarterback situation, but whatever. Yeah. They're not in. They didn't get in. And in my opinion, then you had all the guys opt out, transfer. Now they go play Georgia when that was their statement game, in my opinion. They could have gone out and made a statement saying this is why we should have been in it. Mm-hmm. But you had how many opt-outs and how many transfers? Yeah. I mean, that to me is what ruined college football right there.
Yeah, that's a good statement. That's good. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say ruined, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like,
yeah.
So you got like a website somebody wants to reach out to you, or?
I do. I got the RickySappFoundation.com for my foundation, and then my speaking website is.
You're welcome to share that in our group if you want to.
Yeah, I definitely will.
It'll help you out.
I appreciate it. Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, anything we do to help out a fellow Clemson alumni.
So all you Clemson fans, go out there, support Ricky Sapp. He's got a great system going. He's got a great, motivational speaking coming up. You said you had a children's book coming out, you said?
Yep, it's called Dream Big. Yep.
There you go.
Cool.
Yep.
So get the book.
Who's writing the book?
I did. I wrote
help
it.
us charity.
I got somebody who's going to self-publish a book for me. I was like, I can't sit down long enough to write a book. She's like, don't worry, you can do the little ghost writing thing. I said, all right, we'll write a book then.
I love it. Yep.
Cool.
Well, it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you guys.
Can't wait to see anything coming up in the future. Love to see you in the orange and white. Hopefully we'll be there with one of the top golf teams in the orange and white.
Y'all go win.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Rob on my team. He plays once a week because I don't play once a week.
I've got a golf tournament on Saturday, so and I got a golf tournament in my league on Saturday coming up this Saturday, and I'm currently setting third in my season points in my league. Okay. So hopefully I can get myself back up to first place on Saturday with the major that we got coming up. So
cool.
Yeah, I play a little golf.
Nice.
I don't have a low handicap. Don't get me wrong, but I can play a little bit. So, Josh, you want to end it out?
Well, we don't do the Tiger Channel on here because of the way
it never.
We always
works.
do it a live show. We always do it when we do a live shout out commercial. But for some reason, like we started that, and then I remember you and Ben all, and we're all like a different wavelength, and it's just something the way this the podcast goes.
We tried it the first couple, and it just didn't work.
Ended out. Just a lot of stuff going on. I believe ours. We're growing like nothing I could imagine. It's mind-boggling what's happened. And it looks like the best is yet to come. Look, we're not slowing down anytime soon. So,
go Tigers.
If we've got any, go Tigers. I've been an entrepreneur all my life. I love small business America. I love Shark Tank on TV. I consider us like the Shark Tank of the upstate. We do have the Clemson brand, but we also market for small companies. This bad boy right here runs your life. 80% of all buying decisions are made on your telephone. And so we do the SEO management. We use this platform to draw customers to your business. We include you in the articles. We do a live show. We include you on the website. We got like 16 different ways that we can market for you. We didn't mention any like we did tonight on the podcast. And so we're grateful to be able to have this opportunity to serve Clemson community in the upstate. And such a time, I'm blessed, man. I really am. It's a dream come true. What do we have? We got a baseball game. I mean, it's nothing really coming up
right now.
Here we go. Tigers just won its final home game in the regular season by defeating Wimpert 4-0. Just came up on my phone right now. Nice. So we won tonight. We're on a 2-game winning streak. You get a chance, come out in the baseball game. I'm going to go see this, see here in about a couple of weeks or so.
Hey, I'm hoping them Tigers can go to Omaha.
Man, we're strong this year. I mean, we were number one until I posted it on Facebook, and then if we go back to the number one spot, I'm not saying nothing. But
I don't know what's going on in basketball, but a lot of reports of transfers coming out. So I don't know what's going on there.
I didn't expect to see that run. That was pretty exciting making it the final 8. That was
some rumored that all these transfers, does that mean PJ's coming back?
PJ's
that's a good time.
PJ's going pro.
I believe so too.
PJ went pro.
It was just a lot of transfers, and it was just like, well, what is going on? Like, is PJ coming back? Is that why they're like, if he's coming back, I'm going somewhere else?
Well, the run to the final 8. I mean, the Elite 8, whatever you want to call it. That can't do anything but help recruiting. I mean,
facts for sure.
So, anyway,
it was a pleasure having you on, Ricky.
Having you on, man. Yeah, thank you.
To everybody out there, please go check out his organization that he's got, and look for his new book coming out. And when does that drop? Do you have a date on that?
Next week. It'll be out next week.
Really?
There you go.
Hey, you got my permission. If you want to, I'll tell the administration. If you want to put that in I Bleed Orange and market and advertise, you got my blessing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Appreciate it.
Well, next time, go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Thanks, Ricky.
All right, baby.
All right, man. All right.